With a heavy heart, I'm here to report that Tim Conway has passed away. Yes, Tim Conway has left the planet. Funny man, Tim Conway was known by most people. If you're 55 years old or older, you'll remember him from McHale's Navy. That's where I remember Tim Conway mostly from. But he was also, of course, on Carol Burnett. Now, yesterday I just did a video on the passing of Carol Burnett. I mean, sorry, it was Doris Day. Carol Burnett's getting up there in age too, but no, she's still alive. But Tim Conway has passed away. Now, Tim Conway has died at the age of 85. Now, I thought he was older than that, but he passed away today in Los Angeles. He did have complications from normal pressure hydrocephalus. I don't know what that is, but he had no signs of dementia or Alzheimer's, which I don't think that's what this is saying, but I read somewhere that he did have some signs of dementia or Alzheimer's. I think they're just trying to be nice here. Conway is survived by his wife of 35 years. His must be his second or third wife. His stepdaughter, his 6 biological children, and 2 granddaughters. In lieu of flowers or gifts, family would like donations made. They've got enough money. You don't need to send them anything. The beloved actor is best known for his work on the Carol Burnett Show, winning viewers over with characters like the oldest man and Mr. Tudball, whose accent, he said, was inspired by his Romanian mother. He was known to ad-lib his sketches, even surprising his scene partners, and won a Golden Globe Award for the series in 1976, along with Emmys in 1973, 77, and 78. So he won 3 Emmys and a Golden Globe, which is pretty cool. At a 2013 event promoting his memoir, What's So Funny? My Hilarious Life, Carol Burnett, now 86, painted her collaborator as an on-set prankster. Tim's goal in life was to destroy co-star Harvey Korman, she told the crowd, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Harvey wet his pants, Conway bragged. So he would make Harvey Korman laugh like crazy and just do pranks and things. And Harvey, I'm sure, had a great time. I wonder if Harvey Korman's alive. Does anyone know? Put that in the comments if Harvey Korman's still alive. Carol Burnett is still alive. I thought I misspoke earlier, but it was Doris Day. But Harvey, it says here, let's see. Harvey never saw what I was going to do until he was actually doing the sketch, he said. As a matter of fact, in the dentist sketch, you can actually see Harvey wet his pants from laughing. That's funny. Before making his mark in Hollywood, Conway studied TV and radio at Bowling State University, enlisted in the Army, where his goofiness already shone through. In the LA Times interview, he remembered misplacing his rifle before 4 a.m. drill. I looked in the garbage and there was this long neon tube, he remembered, so I took that. As the lieutenant came around the corner, I said, "Halt! I am pointing this bulb at him." And he said, "What is that?" I said, "It's a light bulb, and if you come any closer, I'll turn it on." His sergeant had a very little sense of humor. I spent an extra 2 weeks painting rocks in Seattle. After his military service, he worked at a local station in Cleveland, radio station. I had no professional training. I had a sense of humor and had been out in front of a microphone. And so he was quite the guy. He appeared as a guest star on the Carol Burnett Show for 8 years before becoming a regular in 1975. They used to do 33 shows a year on the Carol Burnett Show, he told LA Times. She said, "Why don't you just be a regular on the show?" I said, "I will tell you what, I will do 32 shows and leave 1 week open in the end so I can guest on somebody's show. I always guested on her show, but I did not have the right to go somewhere else. My job on every other show was to break everybody up." His own sitcom, The Tim Conway Show, lasted only 1 season in 1970. I wonder why. His variety show of the same name aired from 1980 to 81. Again, not very long. Tim Conway also starred in McHale's Navy. Now that's where I remember. If you're over 60 years old, you'll remember McHale's Navy. It was pretty funny. And my father served in World War II in the Pacific. So that was interesting, hearing all my father's stories, and then and then watching these guys, clown around in McHale's Navy. This wasn't real. The military life on the Pacific Islands were hard. So it wasn't, it was just mostly, funny. So McHale's Navy voiced Barnacle Boy on Tim Conway also was the voice of Barnacle Boy on SpongeBob SquarePants cartoons. And he also made a special appearance in the second season of 30 Rock, which he received an Emmy. Wow, he got an Emmy for that. That's awesome. Conway's death comes after his daughter Kelly and wife Charlene had been fighting over his care. Yeah, I heard about that. His daughter and his wife were fighting over his care. His daughter Kelly filed court documents asking to be appointed conservator of her father in order to be charged with medical treatments. In 2018, she alleged that Charlene was planning to move him out of his excellent, skilled nursing facility he is currently at and place him in a lesser quality home. She claimed her father could not properly provide for his personal needs, for physical health, food, and clothing, and is almost entirely unresponsive. So he was in worse shape than that initially read, and that's what I thought. Kelly sought a temporary restraining order to stop the move, but in March, Charlene was appointed conservator of her husband. So the daughter lost out. Before his wedding to Charlene in 1984, Conway was married to Marianne Dalton in 1961 to 1978. So that was the wedding. That was the prior marriage I was thinking of. Together they had 7 children. Wow. Now let's take a look at his life here. He was, of course, in the McHale's Navy. Let's see. He was born in Ohio, suburb of Cleveland, and he was of Irish descent on his father's side, which is Conway, which is obviously Irish, and Romanian on his mother's side. He attended Bowling Green State University, where he majored in television and radio and was a disc jockey. Now, he's 85 years old. When he went to college, did television even exist? I don't know. Do the math, but it seems weird. All right, so he attended the university where he majored in television and radio and was a disc jockey and member of Phi Delta Theta fraternity. When he graduated, Conway enlisted in the United States Army, where he served between 1956 to 1958. So, yeah, I guess he did everything a little late in life, because if he's 85, I don't know. Looks like, I don't know, when was he born? I'm having a hard time with this. Okay, he was born in 1933. So 33, 43, 53. He would have been 20 years old in 1953. That's why I think it's funny, because if he went to college, late, and he did everything late. I don't know what he was doing. None of this makes any sense, because normally, if you go he should have went into the Army at age 18. Normally that was during the Korean War, and he should have been drafted when he was 18, and that was long. That was 33, 43, 53, 52. That was in 1951. So, and he didn't go into the Army until 56? Let's see. I don't know. None of this makes any sense. So he did something weird, and it'd be something. If you know about it, put it in the comments, because this doesn't make any sense. All right. So he went into radio, television, of course. Steve Allen Show. He did that. He was part of the Steve Allen Show, the Dick Van Dyke Show. McHale's Navy, he started that in the 60s. And that's the one I remember. And he had his own show in 1970, which failed. I don't know why. Then, of course, he went to the Carol Burnett Show. I think he was more of a sidekick. He wasn't a good leading guy, but he was a really good sidekick. And that's where he found his home, of course. And then he did the SpongeBob thing. and he worked with Harvey Korman and Don Knotts. So the guy had quite the life, and he just passed away. So you got to think, who's next? I'm wondering. Now, Kirk Douglas is 102, 103 years old, and I know Carol Burnett is 86, and I think Harvey Korman has passed on. You can put that in the comments. But I'd like to know who you think is next in the celebrity world. Go ahead and put the person that you think is going to leave this earth and fly from this earth next. Who's next? What big celebrity is going to die next? Put it in the comments, and then we'll see how that prediction works out. All right, so please subscribe if you haven't. Please share this video. Again, everybody say goodbye to Tim Conway and Carol Burnett. Doris Day, sorry. Doris Day just passed away, and we'll see who's next. Hopefully not, but, we all got to go, and all these celebrities are getting really old, so. All right, so signing off. Chemtrails, MN. Take care.